Oh
So Aerick,
no.
thank you so much for agreeing to do this for me. So Aerick, tell me a little bit about what you were experiencing financially that made you ready for professional financial support.
At the time that we worked together, I was definitely going through a lot of highs and lows as an artist, trying to navigate the field that I'm in, and how to wait on a check, but how to save your money in the meantime, in between time,
Right.
what to in the meantime, in between time, when we do have those cash gigs, or things that we don't necessarily take into account. So I think I was trying to figure out how to maintain it all. Because one of the best things about what we do is that, you can have these lavish experiences, and that's great, but that check only comes once. And
Right.
so it's for me, how do I do this? How do I go through this up and down and still maintain some type of sanity?
Understood. And yes, I love that you mentioned, being an artist because I'm finding more and more working with creatives, working with artists, there's a true challenge in the financial management because the money is sometimes variable, inconsistent. You get that big win and then you may not have another one for a while. So it's
Right.
times of like, how do I truly manage this when everything seems to be all over the place and maybe even a bit unpredictable? So I really enjoyed that part about working with you because creators really need this kind of support. So it was awesome to see
Mhm.
you, one, get the support, and then two, the results that you got. So let's talk a little bit about that. What positive transformation and or experience did you have using the Mastermind Money personal finance system and working with me?
I think the one thing that like shook me to the core, was that throughout it, your tone is always very straightforward. Like, you just have a way of saying things. And there was a moment that you were like, well, if you're spending these dollars and all you're coming out is with cents, does that make sense? And you said something to that effect where I was like, blow my mind. And it made me consider every single penny,
Yep.
every single income. What are you spending on? What is coming up that you don't know about? That, it's great to go get that new pair of shoes or whatever that is for a photo shoot or whatever. But can you go to a thrift store and get the same thing and then put whatever that rest of that money is
Right.
into a saving?
Right.
Saving, and crazy enough, thank God I learned this.
Yep.
But savings has been my saving grace right now, because of course, during the Christmas and holiday season, we work, but you don't work as much as when the year starts, right? Like by December, January, February, it's like, all right. So
Mhm.
once we really started getting going, I had, my leftovers from Christmas going crazy.
Mhm.
And then I was working and working, and I was like, maybe you should just save like everything you make for January. You have a baby coming.
Right.
In my mind, and I told my mom, I said, I want 10K by the time my baby gets here. Like, I just want to have that so that I'm not worried about anything. And my wife is not worried. And so we both made a plan together, like, okay, let's put 200 this week, 300 that week, put this whole check, put half this check, put 10% of this check, depending on how we balance stuff.
Yep.
And we were getting there.
Yep. Yep.
And of course, the COVID-19 hit, and you're just like, thank God I did that,
Right.
you know?
Right.
And really, because it's different, you know, expecting a kid and
Mhm.
knowing that you can make all the money you want to make and support yourself and go up and down, but don't do that to your child. Like, your child don't deserve your craziness.
Right.
um
Right.
and so it makes you grow up, it makes you consider things a little bit differently, and from level to level, from when we started and I initially got that brain gasm and was like, okay, wow. And now here we are 10 years later, for me to still be in those same motives and those same modes of operation, uh, for something else. You know, I did it for myself then,
Right.
which is why we, so that was awesome. But
Right.
to
Right.
still be there and to be able to click into, okay, the dollars and the cents, and like, let's go back to the drawing board, because the economy and life and where your income comes from is coming from different places now.
Right.
You know, when you just were, you know, you was ready to go. And so it just, I honestly, it savings was the best thing. Those dollars made sense.
Those dollars make sense. I appreciate that. Thank you so much because
Nope.
it's one of those things I like to say, whether you get this understanding and then implement, you'll get the results. If you do
Right.
the work and you actually shift your mindset and adopt the behaviors, and you did, and here you are X years later, 10 years
Yeah.
later, and you were one of my day one supporters, one of my first clients. And I appreciate that because I know my
I
stuff is
would.
good.
Yeah.
I know that. But to hear it still making an
Yeah.
impact years later is so awesome. And so I really appreciate you for that. And again, just really it's awesome to hear from clients. So I appreciate you taking the time to share.
Because
And
you
yeah, you
never know.
don't. I don't know until I ask. And then again, I'm really in this mode of helping people understand what it looks like. Everyone comes from different financial situations. Your why may not be someone else's why, but ultimately, I want people to hear that, oh, okay, that's what he was going through. I'm kind of going through that too. Or I'm an artist and I need to get my stuff together. And in 10 years, I want to be straight. So it's so important to hear it from you rather than me. And I appreciate you doing this for me.
Of course.
Well,
All right.
I know you got to get wifey fed and you're doing a
Look,
great job.
right now you see me balancing
Yes,
everything
I
in my hand.
do. I appreciate you,
Fresh.
bro. I
No,
really
anytime.
do.
So
All
much for
right,
even
well,
asking.
I appreciate it. And you got that beautiful baby on the way. So make sure you give me the info for the registry. And I
Oh,
look forward to being in touch.
all right, love. Thank you so much.
All right, peace.
Bye.